If you're not cutting out your screen use and limiting it and making it a tool that you use as opposed to a tool that uses you, then you're doing something seriously wrong. So enter me about 6 weeks ago. I'd just come off the end of something pretty rough, and I'd fallen back into some bad habits. I was using my phone about 3.5 hours a day, which is about average for a millennial. I was using Discord quite a lot. I was eating takeaway, and just generally not living the most stable life. So I decided to do something about it. To begin with, what I did was that I took the battery out of my smartphone, and I put the battery in my student house, and I put the body of the phone itself at my parents' house so that I couldn't use it. And I switched to a brick, an old Nokia. Then, around about 2 or 3 weeks later, I decided I'm using a lot of time on Discord. I'm going to give my main server to somebody else to run and leave. And so I did. And I freed up a lot of my time over Christmas, and I had a lovely Christmas with family. Now, some pretty funny things happened when, especially the mobile phone was changed. I'd always get funny looks off people, you know. I recall at one point I was drinking with a few friends in a casino in London, and a friend of mine called me while I was on the casino floor watching my friends play. And so I picked up the phone, answered him and said, "Sorry, I'm in the casino, I can't talk." And the security guards gave me a funny look. And obviously I give them a look back of like, what do I look like? Do I look like I've got half an ounce on me? Also, it adds a little bit of spice to the conversation when you unexpectedly pull out your brick phone and somebody's like, "Why do you have that? Do you sell drugs?" And it's like, "No, I just wanted the freedom from it." And so I got rid of it. And obviously people, they vary. Some people judge, some people are interested, some people are really intrigued. So it just builds the conversation and builds the relationship. But the biggest change actually came from Discord. Also, it adds a little bit of spice to the conversation when you unexpectedly pull out your brick phone and somebody's like, "Why do you have that? Do you sell drugs?" And it's like, "No, I just wanted the freedom from it." And so I got rid of it. And obviously people, they vary. Some people judge, some people are interested, some people are really intrigued. So it just builds the conversation and builds the relationship. But the biggest change actually came from Discord. I cannot tell you how much time I was using on that service. I'd be up at 2 in the morning, I'd come in from a night out, and I'd be on it talking to people for a bit, and it ruined my sleep. And so I decided one day, after a little bit of a talk, that I'd change the people running my server, because I was running it and I was just kind of tired of it, and I left. I left for about 3 weeks, and everything changed. My entire life changed pretty much overnight. Now, in my hometown, I don't have all that many friends. A lot of them moved away for university and other stuff, and the ones that are still there I just don't really talk to. So I had a lot of time to sit and think about what I wanted to do this year, 2020, over the time and build some new habits. So I did. The first thing I did, on a complete whim, was get the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So, the Divine Office is a set of prayers that go on throughout the day. A couple at dawn, a couple in the morning, a couple throughout the day, and then again at evening and night. And the little office that I've just mentioned is a cut down version of that for usually nuns and lay people. So I decided I'd get it, and I might be able to keep some sort of prayer rule. But what I didn't expect is how easy it was to adapt all of the hours. And so, because I'd already cut out the electronic distractions, I was able to keep these prayers. Now, for reference, when I was using electronics, I was getting up at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning on a good day. Now, I reliably get up at 10 to 5 in the morning and do my prayer and get work out of the way and go to the gym. Now, the gym got better as well, because since I wasn't continually staring at my phone for instant gratification, I could focus on the lifting. I could focus on the running, and the sleep that I got improved my lifting. I actually have increased my overhead press, which is a lifting technique. I've increased that by 15 kilograms in a month, which is unheard of. I moved from one program to another, but those sorts of results are ridiculous. And finally, And probably the most important thing, I gained a greater appreciation for people in real life. As I had this spare time in the morning, I had a much longer amount of time to pray, and I had a much larger amount of time to reflect on my problems, on my particular vices that the prayer can be aimed to destroy. And one of the things I quickly came to the conclusion of is that by virtue of being a millennial and by virtue of being a horrible person, I am an arrogant man. So I sat down and I prayed to get rid of the arrogance. I sat down and I meditated on how to treat other people and how people are really in the likeness and image of God and therefore should be respected as such. Because while I knew that before, I wasn't employing it in a great way because I was so distracted by the screens and by my own interior evil. And what do you know? When you develop a genuine interest in other human beings beyond what you had before, because most of us don't have that much interest in human beings, we're continually talking about ourselves. When you start to develop that, when you start to sit quietly and listen to what a person is saying, not only do you learn a lot, you also gain the appreciation of that person. For example, I was at a bar with a friend, and while I was waiting for this friend, a guy came and sat across from me. Now, normally what I'd do is just kind of focus on my drink and watch what was on the TV, because that's normally what's done in, student establishments. But I decided to start up a conversation with him because I figured, well, here's an opportunity for me to practice that. And so I sat down and I listened to the guy for about 25 minutes and had a conversation, made him laugh, the typical thing. And I learnt so much just through paying attention. For example, I know that his name has 5 letters. I talked a bit about his family. He told me about his 9-year-old daughter, who is currently being looked after by the birth mother and the stepfather. He told me about his love of independent movies like Dead Snow and how he'd gone along with his friends to watch them, and how he was a massive Wolverhampton FC fan. For those guys who don't know, there was a match yesterday for Wolverhampton. And to be honest, I have exactly no interest in that kind of thing. I don't watch football. I don't watch much in the way of independent movies. But because I developed that appreciation for the fact that man is in the likeness and image of God, and that everybody has something that they can teach me, I was able to sit down for 25 minutes, not say a single thing about myself, and just listen to the guy. And I learnt a lot about humanity. I learnt that even the most humdrum people who are tired from their work, from the work of the day, the 8 hours, that cycle, if you sit down and you talk to them, and you actually listen to them, they'll be very enthusiastic with you. They'll express their interests, they'll express positive emotions if you allow them to fill that void. And if you allow them to do that, not only does it make you feel good because you're interacting with another human being, but also it improves their lives, especially if their lives are hard, as this man's life clearly was. I would have missed him joyously telling me about how his daughter really doesn't like rock music and will complain about it. I'd have missed that, and the smile on his face if I'd been staring at my phone. If I'd been on Discord, spending hours upon hours with people beyond what was needed. And you do need to have these things. Discord is great for some things, and when you keep it in moderation, likewise with phones. However, we're at a point in civilization where it is not good. It is not good at all. For example, and I hear this from people older than me, because I'm only 21. I don't have the perspective, but our generation, the generation of millennials and Gen Z, are some of the most entitled people on the planet, yet some of the most lonely. And we have no ability to suffer for the good. We have no patience, because we've been used to, since the day we were born, being given things immediately, be it through ordering something off Amazon, talking to our parents, playing video games. We have no conception of long suffering. Also, our image of ourselves is ruined by seeing what other people are doing. We go onto Snapchat and we see all of these nudes, and we see all these parties that people are going to. We see all of these holidays that people are on Facebook. We argue with people on Twitter. But what we forget, and although we may know it intellectually, we certainly don't know it on an animal level, is that the majority of people's lives are spent doing more mundane things. For example, you don't see the video of my friend getting up at 4 in the morning to go to the gym. You see the video of him partying that night. Because he's earned that. But because we are surrounded by people posting on social media constantly, we have completely lost the causation between our committal to hard work and the result. Also, I don't care who you are, you experience a sorrow when you see people doing these exciting things and you feel left out. And to some extent you are. It really depends on your friends. But this has been a reality throughout history. The difference is that we have it staring us in the face right now through social media. We can see when our friends have gone out on a bar crawl without us. We can see when there's been a talk that we have missed because of whatever reason. We can see this, and it stares at us, and we look as social animals upon ourselves and say to ourselves, we're not in the in-group. But that could not be further from the truth. We just need to moderate the use of the social media to avoid that kind of thing, and we will still have the friends that we have if they're worth having. Therefore, guys, I ask you very strongly to take the battery out of your smartphone, place it somewhere far away from the body, and get a dumb phone. And learn to cope with the boredom that will come from that. That stimulation that keeps us just about content. Keep that away from you, because you don't want to be contented. And I guarantee that if you do that, and you cast away social media, which I haven't entirely done obviously, you will be a much happier person. And you know how you do that? There's no easy way to do that. The only way to do it is to open up the panel to your laptop, or to your tablet, or to your phone, remove the battery, and cold turkey it. That's the only advice I can give you. Best of luck, and tell me how it goes. Thanks so much to all the new Renaissance Man subscribers, because we've grown massively over the last month or so. So many more people are enjoying audiobooks and controversial videos than were before. So I really hope those who are watching would consider signing up, because these people are clearly enjoying what they're getting. Thank you very much for watching.